Whipple Family Misadventures, Book 1, Welcome to the Parent of an Alien Hedgehog Club, Chapter 7.
Hey, when I put something in the cupboard above the fridge, that doesn't mean float up there and get it. It means it's not for you.
Wade said with dismay as he pulled out the empty package of Oreo cookies that had been half full a few days ago. That was the trouble with the kid with superpowers and a really good sense of smell. He couldn't hide food from him.
Oh, okay.
And don't drink juice straight from the carton.
Silver glanced over at him.
You did that yesterday from the milk. I saw you.
Oh well then, we're both going to stop. It's not a good or hygienic thing to do.
Sitting down at the table with a cup of coffee, Wade watched for a moment as Silver used his powers to lift the cereal to his mouth. The hedgehog was so small, he had to sit on a book and a cushion, so he was tall enough to be able to see his bowl. After failing to get it all in, he licked some kernels off of his glove.
Why do you wear gloves?
Because everyone else does. Why don't you wear gloves?
I don't need to. If I do, it's to protect my hands.
Yeah, the pads on my hands and feet are really sensitive. It helps protect them.
He spread both hands, palms up, playing with the energy and making it twist around his fingers.
How did you learn you could do that? Move stuff with your mind.
I did it a few times when I was really little without knowing I was doing it. Then I realized it was me and started practicing. It took a while. At first, I could barely control it. But I get better at it the more I do it. Now I can pick up heavier things or stuff that I can't see and are further away from me.
That's cool. Did you know anyone else who could do that?
The gray hedgehog shook his head.
Honestly, that's even more impressive.
Silver kicked his feet for a moment, then looked back at him expectantly.
Do you think Sonic could stay over tonight?
You mean like a sleepover?
Please, will be really good and I never done it before.
He thought about it for a moment, trying not to be swayed by the huge puppy dog eyes being flashed in his direction. That was the quintessential kid thing, and he did have a bunk bed now. Plus, Tom and Natty had done a lot for him. They would probably enjoy having a kid-free evening.
Well, I guess that's fine.
Great!
Silver slid off the chair and ran towards the hallway.
I already called him. He'll be here at 5.
Wait, what?
Apparently, there was a right and wrong way to remove wallpaper, and just trying to rip it off was the wrong way. With a sigh, Wade went and fetched a butter knife and spray bottle before he went back to working at it. He was nearly halfway done, on his way toward the hallway, when the doorbell rang, and he glanced and realized what time it was. That was the worst part about winter. And when the sun went down so early, abandoning his tools, he went and opened the door to find Sonic, along with Maddie and Tom on his front porch.
Hey guys.
Hi, Wade.
Sonic! Donut Lord! Hi, Maddie!
Silver shot out of the kitchen and bounced around excitedly.
What does Donut Lord even mean?
Wade asked, shutting the door after they were inside to keep the snow and icy wind out.
Hi, Silver. No idea. They won't even tell me.
Hey, dude. Oh, have you heard of the rumor about the butter?
No?
Well, if you haven't heard it, then I'm not going to spread it.
He waited until Silver laughed and then chuckled as Sonic groaned dramatically and rolled his eyes.
I'm glad someone likes my jokes.
Please stop. I'm begging you.
Sorry, Sonic. I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Guess what, guys? I saved Wade's life a few days ago.
That got their attention and fast.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped a man with a gun from shooting him.
As expected, both Tom and Maddie's expressions changed to one of horror, and in unison, they shot Wade a confused look as he nodded grimly.
It did happen.
What? How? Where?
It wasn't here in town. It was like 45 minutes away. No one got hurt.
No one got hurt because I stopped him, all by myself.
Yeah, you sure did. You two go play so we can talk.
Stop playing. We're not 5.
Then Silver, go show him your new room.
The 3 adults watched as the 2 of them ran off, and Maddie whirled around.
You just let him get into a fight with an armed man.
Of course not. It just happened. Really fast. No one even saw him. He was in the car the whole time. He took the guy right out with that energy blast of his.
I still want to see him do that. Sounds like you two had a crazy adventure, especially for your first week of being a dad.
That's one way to put it, and I'm still not sure.
Hey, don't do that. I've known you for a while, both professionally and as a friend. And you overthink. You second guess yourself. and then talk yourself out of stuff way too much. You need to stop doing that, especially now that you've got a kid to take care of.
But
He is right. Besides, looks to me you're doing just fine.
Wade considered for a moment, really wanted to argue with them, to point out every little detail from the past week that he was quite sure he had gone wrong, or messed up in some way or another. But that would have been proving their point even further.
if you're sure,
We are.
But that would have been proving their point even further.
You guys have fun tonight, and thanks again. It's been way too long since we've been able to have a date night. Also, it's starting to snow again, so we better get out of here.
it is. Man, I can't wait for spring to get here.
Maddie and Tom waved goodbye, heading back to their car. For a moment, Wade just stood in the living room. From the bedroom, he could hear Silver again recounting the story to Sonic. He still sounded pretty excited about it, his voice rising as he went over every detail. Something struck him about how these two were both young kids, but since they had powers and when they got just a bit older, it would be expected of them to take on roles of superheroes. Both had the abilities and were capable of stopping someone with ill intent, and because of that, it would be expected of them, no matter their age, no matter if they wanted to or not. And Wade already knew how much he didn't want that. Silver still had to fully discussed the events of what had happened where he had come from, but the details that had been gleaned did not sound good. He'd already lost a lot of childhood to one horrific tragedy. He didn't need to lose more. There is so much time in the future for helping people and doing good. He didn't need to try and take on the world's problems, or feel like he needed to save the world. If anything, the world needed to save him. Wade went back to working on removing the wallpaper before he made dinner, and then the two boys settled into the living room with one of the new Lego sets and turned on a movie, chattering the entire time. For a moment, Wade thought about watching as well, but he also remembered what it was like being a kid and not wanting adults hovering around every minute. He decided he could be nice and went outside to shovel snow. If Wade ever won the lottery, or somehow got a lot of money, the first thing he was going to do was installing a heater under the driveway, so he didn't have to do this anymore. When it was finally done, he came back in to find Sonic and Silver talking excitedly.
You really think so?
Of course, Silver. Hey, Wade, can we make a sandwich?
You guys have dinner and ice cream and you're still hungry.
Please, just one sandwich.
Okay?
Wade said as both of them ran for the kitchen. Maybe it was like what Tom had said. Sonic did run at high speeds most of the time. He probably did need a lot of snacks to keep up with the calories he burned. Barely a minute later, Silver yelled.
We're going to take the trash out.
That only left Wade even more puzzled. Were all kids this weird? Or was it an alien hedgehog thing? Wade did not remember being like this at their age, but then again, he might have been remembering it differently. After 10 minutes passed and neither of them had come back inside, Wade was starting to wonder what they were up to. Walking to the back door, he opened it, feeling the harsh bite of cold wind.
Sonic? Silver?
To his surprise, they were next to the trash bins outside, staring out into the night. And of course, neither were equipped for this kind of weather.
What are you even doing? Come inside.
Kids were really strange sometimes. After another movie, Wade sent his charges to bed and retreated himself, reading for a bit. 2 kids in the house, even temporarily felt weird. An only child himself, he had always been mystified by the idea of sibling. Once he spent long enough trying to glean as much information from those parenting books as he could, he turned out his bedroom light and tried to get some sleep. He was somewhere in between awake and asleep, drifting closer to sleep, when a sliver of light pierced the darkness. On purpose, he has left his bedroom door open, just in case either of the kids needed something. Setting up, he realized 2 things. It was almost 1 in the morning, maybe he had dozed off, and 2, Silver's bedroom light was on. He could hear both of them talking, in hushed but excited voices. Wade sighed deeply. After hitting a certain age, staying up that late wasn't fun anymore. It was exhausting, because no matter how late he was up, he would wake up at the same time in the morning, and still be tired from lack of sleep.
Guys,
He groaned, before throwing both legs over the side of his bed and getting up, stumbling a bit.
it is late, and now it's time to shut off the light, and...
He had more to say, but he never got to say it, because there were 3 hedgehogs looking back at him when he came into the bedroom.